as loyal as a book, said American author Ernest Hemingway. Books fire up your imagination, provide solace in times of grief, and open up your world. Reading is considered to be the most complete source of learning, one of the best mental workouts there is, helps strengthen language and sharpen sentence structure. Most of all, reading helps shape one's identity. Books contain the collective wisdom of our times. The more you read, the more you will learn about the world and the people in it. Welcome to the Reading and Children's Month celebration for the school year 2021 to 2022 of Maragusan National High School. For us to be graced while tuning in to our virtual celebration, let us be filled with the Holy Spirit through the prayer of St. Francis by Sarah McLachlan, and this will be followed by the singing of the national anthem.
Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, where there is darkness, where there is sadness, joy. So much seek to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. For it's in giving that we receive. It's in parting that we are glad, and it's in dying that we are born to eternal life.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
Kayang mag-ibig, tewas ng sinakalan, alam ng puso, sa titik mo'y buhay, upang hinirang tuyag ka ng magiting sa manlulupin, di ka pasisingil sa nagatak tutok sa simoy at sa langit mong pagaw ay hinatang tula kawin sa pagkayang minamahal. Ang isang ng matawad mo'y tagumpay na naghihindig, ang bituin at araw niya kailan pang ay di maghihindig. Luman ang araw ng walhagit pagsingka, huwag langit sa piling mo. Ang hindi kaya ng pagkay mga aking, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I am Jam Camille C. Kirante from Humanities and Social Sciences strand, and we are currently here today in our very own school library. It is my great pleasure and honor to host this virtual celebration of the Reading and Children's Month. The indefatigable, smart, and very hardworking Principal 1 of Maragusan National High School will welcome us all and officially open the celebration.
Welcome to the first Reading Culmination program of Maragusan National High School. My greetings to all the teachers who are involved in this program, the students, the parents, and all the members of the community who share the joy of reading. November is a reading month, and that is because we give emphasis to the skill that is the most important of all, and that is reading. This is the age of information, and with information, there is a need to read and to understand and to comprehend, to make sense of what the world is. That's why reading is an important event that should be celebrated not only this November, but every day in our educated life. Reading is a perennial problem in our country, but we have reading programs, especially in Maragusan National High School. We have the Project Cesar, the creative and enthusiastic students are readers, and we also have the field theory and evaluation of the reading ability of our students from time to time. But other than that, let us remember that reading is not a tedious task, but it should actually be a joy. And with that, Maragusan National High School is developing itself to make or to be a venue of the readers, such as our library and the extension of our Project Cesar, actually with books in the bags presented to all clusters every month. And we do hope that you get to have the chance of reading the books that you like, because books, just like doors, it opens to a world of fantasy, a world of experience, and a world of enjoyment and entertainment. This reading culmination program is actually very special because we have people in the community who will be reading for us. And I thank all these fellow readers in our community for taking the time and for taking the challenge and for sharing their love for books and their love for reading. To all students of Maragusan National High School, let us remember that the first thing to learn, the most essential in learning, is actually the joy and the love for reading. And as much as this is a challenge to everyone, this should actually be an experience, a collective experience to all of us, because I believe that an examined life, a well-comprehended life, is worth living. And what would actually give you that edge is to extend your life experiences, to share different point of views, and this would actually be possible only if you read. Read today, lead tomorrow. To all our readers, our student readers, enjoy this activity and God bless us all. Mabuhay tayong lahat.
Thank you so much, Sir Eman, and belated happy birthday as well. Now, to give us the background of the practices of the reading program in English as one of the most essential area in developing our language, the English subject specialist of Maragusan National High School, Mrs. Marian Gustavella Cruces, will give us the rationale of this program.
Good afternoon, everyone, especially to the indefatigable, innovative, and very talented principal of Maragusan National High School, Mr. Emmanuel B. Clarion, sir. To the assistant principal, Mr. J. Mardi Milan, good afternoon, sir. And to the teachers of this institution from junior high school to the senior high school. Especially with us in the celebration are our learners from the grade 7 to the senior high school grade 12 who are with us this afternoon. Please enjoy and celebrate with us. I am tasked to give you the rationale or the fundamental reasons why we have this celebration. Now we know that November is a reading month. Also, we celebrate Children's Month during November. Now, why do we have initiatives or activities that supports Reading Month or the reading activities, reading program of the school? We have Project Cesar, which was launched last year. In the division office, we have the I to Read, which was launched just last November 25, a few days ago, which will also support the reading as one of our focus in the school year or in the learning institutions. Now, we wanted that we'll be producing learners who are proficient readers. We wanted that when they graduate or finish basic education going to college, our students will already be independent and proficient readers so that they will enjoy and embrace reading. And of course, that they will be successful in their endeavors. Another one is that we wanted to promote the advocacy to make reading a habit, because as we read and increase or make reading a habit, we will enjoy and have fun while doing our work, because as we know, we can even travel while reading without even physically going to the place. So we read places and we feel like going there or being there through reading even without traveling. And that's amazing. Third, we wanted to increase the interest in reading activities. We want our students to enjoy activities, especially that it is engaged in the Project IISA in the different subjects, so that they will enjoy reading while doing things. Okay, number 4, or the fourth one, is that we wanted to encourage reading time at school or even at home. Now, since we don't have face-to-face, they will have time to read at home. They will just have 5 to 10 minutes reading with their parents or with the siblings or with a friend. Because reading with companies or with parents or even with their siblings can increase their proficiency, increase spelling. Of course, they will know some facts and gain more information. Another one is that we have to remember, dear learners, our kids, that success is attained through reading. It is the fundamental skills that we should or you should master. When you master reading, and of course, you are going to expound your materials, like you can even read magazines or other books, history books, and even science fiction, and a different kind of books. That would mean that you will, of course, increase variety of vocabulary. You will increase the collection of your facts and, of course, memorable materials that you have read. Stories also are encouraged to be read. You can even read novels. So the only thing is that you have to give time for you to read. Whenever you are tired of something, you can sit down somewhere in a corner, have a cup of coffee or something to drink or to eat, and then have a book with you or grab a magazine. Now, with the I Do Read program of the division to help our struggling readers, and of course the Project Cesar, which we have the backpacks with 10 books in each, distributed or lodged at the 22 clusters, we hope that we encourage our students in reading, and we hope that all of us will enjoy and embrace the habit of reading. So with this celebration, we will embrace, we will enjoy reading, and this should be part of our lives. Enjoy reading, everyone, and good afternoon.
Thank you, Ma'am Marian. Now let us be alive and enthusiastic as we watch the Maragusan National High School English teachers in their opening salvo.
First things first, I'ma say all the words inside my head. I'm fired up inside of the way that things have been. No, the way that things have been. No, second thing second, don't you tell me what you think that I could be. I'm the one at the sail, I'm the master of my CEO. The master of my CEO. I was broken from a young age, taking my soul into the masses, writing my poems for the few that look at me, shook at me, feeling me, singing from heartache. From the brain, taking my message, from the veins, speaking my lesson, from the brain, seeing the beauty through that. Hey, you made me, oh, you made me a believer. Hey, you break me down, you build me up, believer. You made me, oh, you made me a believer. was choking in the crowd, building my rain up in the cloud, falling like ashes to the ground, hoping my feelings they would drown, but they never did, ever did, ebbing and flowing, inhibited, limited, till it broke open and rained down like.
Of the fire and the flames, you're the face of the future, the blood in my veins, oh veins, oh veins, oh the blood in my veins, oh veins, oh veins, oh. But they never did, ever did, ebbing and flowing, inhibited, limited, till it broke open and rained down, rained down.
What an amazing example for us students to read just like the teachers have shown. Anyway, thank you very much, teachers. Why read? We read deeply for varied reasons. Most of them for familiarization. Others read for they need to acquire knowledge, not just for self, but for others, and but of the way things are. Ladies and gentlemen, Maragusan National High School has invited guest readers for us to be inspired and be motivated to love reading as much as they do. To give value and importance of reading among children in celebration with the Children's Reading Month, Dylan Carl Estelioso, a kid reader, will read us a motivating story.
Go! You are my family. You are my family. My special family. You take care of me every day. It's so much fun when we're together. We love to sing, to laugh, and play. You are with that. You are my family, my special family. When we help each other in every way.
Go on.
Dad is grinning when when Mom is cooking. Dad is grinning. I like to help them every day.
Wow. Okay, can you read that again?
I point my finger.
Okay, you point your finger, sure.
You are my family. You are what is that? My family, my special family. You take care of me every day. It's so much fun when we are together. We love to sing, to laugh, and play. You are my family. You are my family. When we help each other in every way. Dad is grinning when mom is cooking, dad is cleaning, I like to help them every day. To the car, please read about we inquiry. I love you. From Blippi to the car, please read about we inquiry. I love you. I cover it.
You cover it?
And have a tap. And have a tape.
Go. Start from the beginning.
And over up here.
Such a cute little reader. Thank you so much, baby Dylan. Leadership of community leaders is the main determinant of successful literacy learning in the community. The local government unit of Maragusan, led by Honorable Marcel Polina Vindiola, is very determined to influence the people of Maragusan to love reading.
The Road Not Taken by Robert Frost. Two roads diverge in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both. And be one traveler, long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth. Then took the other as just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear. Through as for that, the passing there have warned them really about the same. And both the morning equally lay in leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I keep the first for another day, yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh. Somewhere ages and ages hence, two roads diverge in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference.
Thank you very much, Mayor. I hope that by your example, many Maragusan youth will love reading as well. Time spent reading together as a family is a long-term investment in vocabulary exposure. Family reading experiences give children the chance to ask questions about words they don't understand, which leads to more effective reading. To show that reading with a family is very significant to their lives of the children, the Clarion family, headed by Mr. Cornelio Clarion, will be reading to us a story about the prodigal son.
Hello everyone! Have you heard of the story, The Prodigal Son? The parable of the prodigal son is one of the many parables Jesus told his disciples. In the Gospel of Luke, chapter 15, verses 11 to 32, Jesus tells of this wonderful story of a lost son and a loving father. Listen and be blessed.
There was a very rich person. He had two sons. The first son was hardworking. He always obeyed his father. He was a very good and nice person. But the second son was totally different from the first son. He was lazy. He did not work in his father's field. He was disobedient to his father. He wanted to lead a gay and free life.
One day, the younger son said to his father, "Father, give me my share of property." The father felt very sad. He divided the property. The second son took his share of property. He left home with his share. He went to a distant land. There, he made a lot of friends. He spent his property lavishly on his friends, foods, and drinks. He had many bad habits too. He wasted all the money. Soon, he was left with no money. His friends saw this. They all deserted him one by one. At that time, there was a famine in that land. He could not get any job. None of his friends gave him food or money. He was forced to take up a very mean job, and his job was to feed the pigs. Very often, he ate the food kept for the pigs. He was very sad about his present conditions. He soon began to think of his father and brother. He said to himself, "In my father's house, even the servants have good food. They get good shelter too. But here, I am struggling for food and shelter. I will go back to my father. I will beg him to take me as his servant."
So decided, the prodigal son set out for his father's house. In the meantime, his father was always thinking of his second son. He would sit near the windows. He would look out at the road, expecting his son to return home.
One day, his father saw his son coming at a distance. He ran out of his house in great joy. He met his son on the way. His son knelt down. He said, "Father, I am not fit to be your son. Take me as your servant."
His father lifted him lovingly. He embraced him. He turned to his servants and he said, "Bring the best robe. Put it on my son. Put a ring on his fingers and shoes on his feet. Kill the fatted calf. Prepare a feast. Let us eat and enjoy. My son was lost, now he is found."
The elder son was returning from his work. He heard the sound of the music and dancing from his house. He asked one of his servants about it. His servant told him, "Your brother has come. Your father is rejoicing at his return. A fatted calf has been killed to prepare for a delicious feast and a celebration." The first son was angry and refused to enter his house. The father came out. He begged his elder son to come in for rejoicing. "I have done all your works, but you never gave me even a kid to enjoy with my friends. This son wasted all your money and property, and you ordered a fatted calf for him."
His father replied, "My dear son, you are always with me. All my property is yours. Your younger brother was dead. Now he is alive. He was lost. Now he is found. Therefore, should we not rejoice?"
The elder son understood the love behind the words of his father. He forgot everything about his younger brother. He decided to take part in the celebration. He was happy.
The moral of the story. The story of prodigal son is a picture of God's love for us and His children. God's love for us does not depend on our faithfulness. It is unconditional. He loves us while we're still sinners. Though we are demanding and do not remain faithful, God is still our faithful and loving Father. When we come to repent our sins, He is willing to forgive us and welcomes us open arms. But this parable is not about the lost son alone, but primarily also about the oldest son. We should not think of ourselves as superior to others and view ourselves as worthy sons. No amount of righteous work can ever earn us a spot in heaven. So we should not think that we've earned the grace of God just because we didn't run away from Him. It is written in Ephesians 2:8-9, "For it is by grace you have been saved, through faith, and this is not from yourselves. It is the gift of God, not by works, so that no one can boast."
Together with Maragusan National High School,
we celebrate National Reading Month.
Have fun in reading.
Bye!
Thank you, Clarion family. Sibling bonds are some of the strongest connections we can make in our lives. Emotional attachments that happen early and are rooted deeply in our development. Siblings help us to learn crucial skills to navigate relationships, find a sense of identity, and understand how to create attachment to others. Ladies and gentlemen, the Dusena siblings reading the fable entitled The Three Little Pigs.
Hello everyone! We are the Dusena siblings. I am Meg,
Dayan, Matt,
Darlie. Today we are going to read a story.
What is the title of the story?
The Three Little Pigs!
There was once upon a time a pig who lived with her three children. A large, comfortable, old-fashioned farmyard. The eldest of the little pigs was called Brownie. The second called Whitey. And the youngest and best looking, Lucky.
Now Brownie was a very dirty little pig. and spent most of his time rolling and wallowing about in the mud. He was so happy as on a wet day when the mud in the farmyard got soft, thick, and slab. Then he would steal away from his mother's side and find the muddiest place in the yard, would roll about it, and thoroughly enjoy himself. His mother often found fault with him for this, and would shake her head sadly and say,
Ah, Brownie, someday you will be sorry that you did not obey your old mother.
But no words of advice or warning could cure Brownie of his bad habits. Whitey was quite a clever little pig, but she was greedy. She was always thinking of her food and looking forward to her dinner. And when the farm girl was seen carrying the pails across the yard, she would rise up on her hind legs and dance and caper with excitement. As soon as the food was poured into the trough, she jostled Blackie and Brownie out of the way in her eagerness to get the best and biggest bits for herself. Her mother often scolded her for her selfishness and told her that someday she would suffer for being so greedy and grabbing. Blackie was a good, nice little pig, neither dirty nor greedy. He had nice dainty ways, and his skin was always as smooth and shining as black satin. He was much cleverer than Brownie and Whitey, and his mother's heart used to swell with pride when she heard the farmer's friends say to each other that someday the little black fellow will be a prize pig. Now the time came when the mother pig felt old and feeble and near her end. One day she called the 3 little pigs round her and said,
My children, I feel that I am growing old and weak, and that I shall not live long. Before I die, I should like to build a house for each of you, as this dear old sty in which we have lived so happily will be given to a new family of pigs, and you will have to turn out. Now, Brownie, what kind of house would you like to have?
House of mine.
replied Brownie, looking longingly at a wet puddle in the corner of the yard.
And you, Whitey?
Said the mother pig in rather a sad voice, for she was disappointed that Brownie had made so foolish a choice.
A house of cabbage.
Answered Whitey, with a mouth full and scarcely raising her snout out of the trough in which she was grubbing for some potato parings.
Foolish! Foolish child!
Said the mother pig, looking quite distressed.
And you, Blackie?
Turning to her youngest son.
What sort of house shall I order for you?
A house of brick, please, mother, as it will be warm in the winter and cool in summer and safe all the year round.
That is a sensible little pig,
replied his mother, looking fondly at him.
I will see that the 3 houses are got ready at once. And now, one last piece of advice. You have heard me talk about our old enemy the fox. When he hears that I am dead, he is sure to try and get hold of you, to carry you off to his den. He is very sly and will no doubt disguise himself and pretend to be a friend. But you must promise me not to let him enter to your house on any pretext whatever.
And the little pigs readily promised, for they had always had a great fear of the fox, of whom they had heard many terrible tales. A short time afterwards the old pig died, and the little pigs went to live in their own houses. Brownie was quite delighted with his soft mud walls and with the clay floor, which soon looked like nothing but a big mud pie. But that was what Brownie enjoyed, and he was as happy as possible, rolling about all day and making himself in such a mess. One day, as he was lying half asleep in the mud, he heard a soft knock at his door, and a gentle voice said,
Come in, Master Brownie. I want to see your beautiful new house.
Who are you?
Said Brownie, starting up in great fright, for though the voice sounded gentle, he felt sure it was a faint voice, and he feared it was the fox.
I am a friend come to call on you,
answered the voice.
No,
replied Brownie.
I don't believe you are a friend. You are a wicked fox, against whom our mother warned us. I won't let you in.
Oh, is that the way you answer me?
Said the fox, speaking very roughly in his natural voice.
We shall soon see who is the master here.
And with his paws, he set to work and scraped a large hole in the soft mud walls. A moment later, he had jumped through it, and catching Brownie by the neck, flung him on his shoulders and trotted off with him to his den. The next day, As Whitey was munching a few leaves of cabbage out of the corner of her house, the fox stole up to her door, determined to carry her off to join her brother in his den. But when he reached the brick house, he found that the door was bolted and barred. So in his sly manner he began,
"Do let me in, dear Blackie. I have brought present of some eggs that I picked up in the farmyard on the way here."
No, Mr. Fox,
replied Blackie.
I am not going to open my door to you. I know your cunning ways. You have carried off poor Brownie and Whitey, but you are not going to get me.
At this, the fox was so angry that he dashed with all his force against the wall and tried to knock it down. But it was too strong and well built, and though the fox scraped and tore out the bricks with his paws, he only hurt himself, and at last he had to give it up and limp away with his forepaws all bleeding and sore.
"Never mind,"
he cried angrily as he went off.
"I'll catch you another day. See if I don't. Won't I grind your bones to powder when I have got you in my den?"
And he snarled fiercely and showed his teeth. Next day, Blackie had to go into the neighboring town to do some marketing and to buy a big kettle. As he was walking home with it slung over his shoulder, he heard the sound of steps stealthily creeping after him. For a moment, his heart stood still with fear, and then a happy thought came to him. He had just reached the top of a hill, and could see his own little house nestling at the foot of it among the trees. In a moment, he had snatched the lid off the kettle and had jumped in himself. Coiling himself round, he lay quite snug in the bottom of the kettle. With his foreleg he managed to put the lid on, so that he was entirely hidden. With a little kick from the inside, he started the kettle off, and down the hill it rolled full tilt. And when the fox came up, all that he saw was a very large kettle spinning over the ground at a great pace. Very much disappointed, he was just going to turn away, when he saw the kettle stop close to the little brick house. And a moment later, Blackie jumped out of it and escaped with the kettle into the house, when he barred and bolted the door, and put the shutter up over the window.
"Oh!"
exclaimed the fox to himself.
"You think you will escape me that way, do you? We shall see soon about that, my friend."
And very quietly and stealthily he prowled round the house looking for some way to climb into the roof.
In the meantime, Blackie had filled the kettle with water and, having put it on fire, sat down quietly waiting for it to boil. Just as the kettle was beginning to sing and steam come out the spout, he heard a sound like soft muffled step, patter, patter, patter overhead, and the next moment the fox's head and forepaws were seen coming down the chimney. But Blackie was very wisely and not put the lid on the kettle, and with a yelp of pain, the fox fell into the boiling water, and before he could escape, Blackie had popped the lid on, and the fox was scalded to death.
Soon as you're sure that the wicked enemy was really dead and could do them no further harm, Blackie started off to rescue Brownie and Whitey. As he approached the den, he heard piteous grunts and squeals from his poor little brother and sister, who lived in constant terror of the fox killing and eating them. But when they saw Blackie appear at the entrance of the den, their joy knew no bounds. He quickly found a sharp stone and cut the cords by which they were tied to stake in the ground.
All three started all together to Blackie's house, cordially, happily ever after. And Brownie quite gave up falling in the mud, and Whitey is to be greedy, for they never forgot how nearly Ghost had brought them an timely end.
Thank you! Great job, Desena siblings! To continue to show support on the literacy programs of her alma mater, Darrell E. Hagoyahay, an alumna, will deliver a poem entitled Pretty Ugly.
I'm going to recite this poem entitled Pretty Ugly by Abdullah Shwaib. I'm very ugly. So don't try to convince me that I am a very beautiful person. Because at the end of the day, I hate myself in every single way. And I'm not going to lie to myself by saying there is beauty inside of me that matters. So rest assured, I will remind myself that I am a worthless, terrible person. And nothing you say will make me believe I still deserve love. Because no matter what, I am not good enough to be loved. And I am in no position to believe that beauty does exist within me. Because whenever I look in the mirror, I always think, am I as ugly as people say? Am I as ugly as people say? Because whenever I look in the mirror, I always think, beauty does exist within me. And I am in no position to believe that I am not good enough to be loved. Because no matter what, I still deserve love. And nothing you say will make me believe that I am a worthless, terrible person. So rest assured, I will remind myself there is beauty inside of me that matters. And I'm not going to lie to myself by saying I hate myself in every single way. Because at the end of the day, I am a very beautiful person. So don't try to convince me that I'm very ugly.
Thank you for that very inspiring performance, Ma'am Darrell. The indigenous kids will demonstrate how they have persisted through hardship without giving up hope. The IP Kids people will read to us an inspirational story entitled The Bundle of Sticks, to tell us that we should help each other and together we should fight and face the evil and negative things. When we together stand only, then we get freedom from all kind of negativity.
Madyaw na kalamdag kamayo tibo. Kami ang mga IP students.
Gikan sang banwa ng Bahi Maragusan. Yan niyang basahon namin.
The Bundle of Sticks. Once upon a time, there was an old man who lived in a village with his 3 sons. Although his 3 sons were hard workers, they quarreled all the time. The old man tried to unite them but failed. Months passed by, and the old man became sick. He asked his sons to remain united, but they failed to listen to him. At that moment, the old man decided to teach them a lesson, to forget their differences and come together in unity. The old man summoned his sons, then proceeded to tell them,
I will provide you with a bundle of sticks. Separate its stick and then break it into 2. The one who finishes first will be rewarded more than the others.
And so the sons agreed. The old man provided them with a bundle of 10 sticks each, and then asked the sons to break each stick into pieces. The sons broke the sticks within minutes, then proceeded to quarrel among themselves again. The old man said,
My dear sons, the game is not yet over. I will now give you another bundle of sticks. Only this time, you will have to break them together as a bundle, not separately.
The sons readily agreed and then tried to break the bundle. Despite trying their best, they could not break the sticks. The sons told their father of their failure. The old man said,
My dear sons, C. Breaking every single stick individually was easy for you, but breaking them in abundance you could not do. By staying united, nobody can harm you. If you continue to quarrel, then anyone can quickly defeat you.
The old man continued.
I ask that you stay united.
Then the three sons understood there's power in unity and promised their father they would all stay together.
The moral.
There is strength in unity.
Indeed, thank you very much, IP kids. Grandparents play a vital role in children's well-being. For children, sharing reading with a grandparent helps them develop key life skills, including social and communication abilities. Ladies and gentlemen, Lola Fortunata B. Dango, a retired school principal of Maragusan National High School, in her story, The Needle Tree.
You like storytelling, children?
Yes!
Okay, come forward.
You.
The Needle Tree. Once there were two brothers who lived at the forest edge. The eldest brother was always unkind to his younger brother. The eldest brother took all the food and good clothes. He used to go to the forest in search of firewood to sell in the market. As he walked through the forest, he chopped off the branches of every tree until he came upon the magical tree. The tree stopped him before he chopped its branches and said, "Oh, kind sir, please spare my branches. If you spare them, I will provide you with golden apples." The eldest brother agreed, but was feeling disappointed with how many apples the tree gave him. Overcome by greed, the brother threatened to cut the entire tree if it didn't provide him with more apples. But instead of giving more apples, the tree showered him with tiny needles. The brother fell to the ground, crying in pain as the sun set. So, the younger brother became worried and went to the forest to search for his brother. He searched until he found him at the trunk of the tree, lying in pain with hundreds of needles on his body. He rushed to him and started to painstakingly remove its needle with love. Once the needles were out, the eldest brother apologized for treating his brother so badly. The magical tree saw the change in the brother's heart and gifted them with all golden apples they could need. Okay? That's the end of the story. I'll ask you questions. What is the title of the story?
The Needle Tree.
What is it all about?
It is all about the two brothers who live in the forest.
Very good. Whom among them do you like most?
I like the younger brother.
Why?
Because he is a good boy.
Very good. Is it good to be unkind, children?
No!
So, what moral lesson did you get from the story?
It is important to be kind as it always be rewarded.
Very good. Do you like the story, children?
Yes!
Alright. Thank you for listening and participating, children. Next time again. Bye-bye!
Thank you so much, Lola Fortunata. It's an honor to be read such a great story by you. If the teacher wants to teach her learners to think, she must direct herself wholly according to their manner of comprehension. But does not a learner also become a teacher? A learner learns as if in the very act of learning, he must teach what he learns. Maragusan National High School, let us be inspired with an intermission number to be given to us by Mrs. Rumer Jane Lukugan, a SPED teacher, and Hannah May Racal, a SPED learner.
In the Heart of a Seed by Kate Brown. In the heart of a seed, buried deep, so deep, a dear little plant lay fast asleep. Wake, said the sunshine, and creep to the light. Wake, said the voice of the raindrops bright. The little plant heard, and it rose to see what the wonderful outside world might be. In the Heart of the Seed by Kate Brown.
Thank you so much. That was a very awakening performance. Now let us be entertained by Florigine Pardillo of Grade 12 CSSA Jubilants, singing The Greatest Love of All, and Ivan Garnett Catalia singing I Am But a Small Voice.
I believe the children are our future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty they possess inside. Give them a sense of pride to make it easier. Let the children's laughter remind us how we used to be. Everybody searching for a hero. People need someone to look up to. I never found anyone to fulfill my needs. A lonely place to live, and so I learned to depend on me. I decided long ago never to walk in anyone's shadow. If I fail, if I succeed, at least I live as I believe. No matter what they take from me, they can't take away my dignity. Because the greatest love of all is happening to me. I found the greatest love of all inside of me. And if by chance that special place that you've been dreaming of leads you to a lonely place of finding your strength in your love.
Thank you so much for that superb intermission number. At this juncture, the Student Supreme Government of Maragusan National High School also extends their support and appreciation to the celebration of the Reading Month and Children's Month through reading a poem entitled Rights of Every Child.
According to Presidential Decree Number 603, Section 1974, Article 3, Rights of the Child, all children shall be entitled to the rights herein set forth without distinction as to legitimacy or illegitimacy, sex, social status, religion, political antecedents, and other factors. Every child has the right to be born well. It is the responsibility of the parents to make sure they can provide a safe environment for their unborn child. This includes proper medical attention and care from conception, birth, and throughout childhood years in a newborn services unit and pediatric center.
Every child has the right to a wholesome family life. The child's first learning environment and teachers are their home and family. They are entitled to be part of a loving family that will instill ethical values and morals in them. We children deserve to be loved and not to be deprived for these rights.
Children has the right to be raised well and become contributing members of society. By raising them in a safe and loving environment, parents and guardians can shape the personalities of their young to be useful and contributing members of their respective communities when they grow older. We, children, deserve to be loved and not to be deprived for these rights.
Every child has the rights to basic needs. The 4 basic needs of people outlined in the law are as follows: a balanced diet, an adequate clothing, a sufficient shelter, and lastly, a proper health care. This also includes any other requirements to live an active and healthy life. We children deserve to be loved and not deprived of these rights.
Every child has the right to access what they need to have a good life. This right goes beyond the basic needs and focuses more on the atmosphere of the place they will be raised in. A child's needs must always be attended to so they feel the support of people around them, which in turn will build and strengthen their character in adulthood. We children deserve to be loved and not be deprived for these rights.
The sixth right of Filipino children. Every child has the right to education. In an ideal world, every child should have the means to go to a classroom and have access to books and learning materials that can enrich their intelligence and skills. We children deserve to be loved and not to be deprived of these rights.
Every child has the right to play and enjoy their youth. Children have the right to engage in wholesome recreational activities whenever they wish and not to be exploited for the events that are demeted only for adults to do. For example, intensive manual labor. We children deserve to be loved and not to be deprived of these rights.
Every child has the right to be protected from danger. This includes all hazards that could affect their physical, mental, and emotional states, such as removing them from dangerous living situations, preventing them from getting into accidents, or protecting them from the abuse of adults, to name a few. We children deserve to be loved and not to be deprived for these rights.
The ninth right of the children. Every child has the right to live in a productive environment. Children should be surrounded by safe communities that can inspire them to give back when they are older. This means staying away from bad influences and situations that can cause harm to their health. We, children, deserve to be loved and not to be deprived for these rights.
Every child has the right to be cared in the absence of their parent or guardian. If the parent or guardian fails to fulfill their role, the state shall assume custody and care for the child, providing them with their fundamental needs for growth and development. We, children, deserve to be loved and not to be deprived for these rights.
Every child has the right to good governance. Children also have a right to be born under the presence of good governance that can inspire them to become helpful and active citizens. This doesn't necessarily mean they have to get involved with politics, but rather have an interest in being involved in political discussions for the betterment of the country. We children deserve to be loved and not to be deprived for these rights.
Every child has the right to freedom and peace. Last but not the least, every child is entitled to do whatever they want in their lives, so long as it contributes to the peace and betterment of the communities they are part of. We children deserve to be loved and not to be deprived from these rights. Again, we are the Supreme Student Government and we love to campaign your innate rights because we care for you.
Thank you so much, dearest SSG officers. Maragusan National High School learners are very honored to have these teachers whom amidst the pandemic still try their best to educate and exert collaborative efforts to bring quality education in the new normal. Ladies and gentlemen, the teachers of Maragusan National High School.
A child who reads will be an adult who thinks.
Today a leader, tomorrow a leader.
According to Frederick Douglass, once you learn to read, you will be forever free.
And now you listen.
Reading gives us some place to go when we have to stay where we are.
The more that you read, the more things you will know. The more that you learn, the more places you'll go. Dr. Seuss.
Reading is important because If you can read, you can learn anything about everything and everything about anything.
Whenever you read a good book, somewhere in the world, a door opens, allowing more light.
Reading allows us to see and understand the world through the eyes of others.
Reading is a gateway skill that makes all other learning possible.
The only way to educate oneself is by making book a life companion.
When you read a book, you hold another's mind in your hands.
Books give a soul to the universe.
Wings to the mind. Flight to the imagination.
And life for everything.
Reading is an active, imaginative act. It takes work.
He that loves reading has everything within his reach.
You can find magic wherever you look. Sit back and relax. All you need is a book.
Read today, lead tomorrow.
Every child is a reader. Reading is fun!
Yeah.
Reading is not just an escape. It is access to a better way life. Reading changes everything.
Servant leadership. The servant leader is servant first.
Reading is a discount ticket to everywhere. There are many little ways to enlarge your world. Love of books is the best of all.
Not all readers are readers, but all readers are readers.
Think before you speak. Read before you think.
Thank you, teachers, for giving us these remarkable quotes. Enjoy a book together anywhere and at any time, but it's lovely too to make special places and times to read together. This could be snuggling one-to-one in an armchair or in a family group together in a reading den or corner. Good day once again. This has been Jam Camille C. Quirante, your host, signing off.